On a mission to spread her sex positive skills in education at a national level, Tracy's career path has led her to COTR Incorporated, where she serves as a product education director and certified sex educator. Working alongside company founder and CEO Alicia Sinclair, Tracy is proud to represent the female led manufacturer of cutting edge, premium pleasure products brands. With her sights set on promoting sexual health and wellness, self care, and acceptance of all gender identities and sexualities for all ages. Tracy's future goals include educating their community in addition to the adult industry. Tracy believes that by embracing oneself sexually and sharing that with a partner or partners, that is the key to a happy sex life. Her motto is share, love, give, and receive unlimited pleasure. Y'all, Tracy. Fabulous. I'm excited for this conversation. I think it's right on time because both of us got trips coming up. Um, so always stay ready. So, my first question to you, I think it might be the first question and the last question of the show is all are my favorites. So the first question is, who are you?
Ooh, that is a great question. Who am I? I am a person that lives in Detroit and am recently married. Um, I like for work purposes, sex educator, um, product education director for the company called COTR. I'm also a yoga teacher as well. Teach hot yoga 26 and 2. It's such a grounded experience to say, like, for someone to ask me, who am I, right? But I think I am a person that really has experienced so much from moving out of Philadelphia, traveling in general, since I started traveling for this company and just like identifying myself as um, queer, black,
Mm.
um, uh, my goodness, an opened identity, I think, because I see myself where the places I've traveled to have found to become a strong chameleon, or and with a chameleon, they find safety in spaces where they camouflage, where they hide in spaces in plain sight, for safety and space, and that person is also willing to be so much explorative in color and in imagination and creativity, that I think that I am that person of just like change and constantly evolving while we are experiencing so much right now, like
Mm.
so much. So I think that's who I am. Of course, of course, again, that queer black um, woman that also identifies with pronouns with they, them as well, because there's times when I do not feel my femininity, and there's times when I also don't feel my masculinity. I just feel and be. So
Cool
being that
existence.
person, yeah, just existing right now, just like being alive right now is
Hard.
hard
It's
as hell. It's
hard.
hard. It's hard.
How did we meet?
I think it was at the trade show, the big manufacturing trade show that we have in LA, in AMI. It's called AMI. And you were with the Spectrum team. Shout out to Spectrum. Shout out to Joey. Shout out to Dirty Lola. Like, you were coming in with the crew. And y'all sat down and had a meeting with our founder, Alicia Sinclair, that created COTR. And you were just like, hi, like, what's
We
up?
must have been. We must
And
have
I
been
was like,
herbals.
hello. I was like, hello. And you just like had this light and ball of energy and just like talked to me like we're just picking up from last week, 2 days ago. And I'm like, who is this person? And they're like, oh, this is Jamanika. Um, she's a
I
trauma
don't work at
therapist.
Spectrum.
I know, right? She doesn't work for Spectrum. Like, she's just like so clean. And that was the other thing. I was just like, I want to be around these people. I was like, this is like honing in on like who family is, and I was just like, this is like the family. This is the tribe that I'm like been striving to be like I gotta be a part of this tribe of strong, powerful women. I'm like, yes, and also picks up my weirdness vibes too. So that was
Yeah,
the
we
other thing.
weird.
I'm
We
weird.
cute and weird out
We
here.
cute and
We
weird.
cute and
We be
weird out in
cute.
these
We be
streets.
cute and weird out here in these streets. And you just started talking to me like we were just talking yesterday, or just like continuing the phone conversation, and I was just so drawn to your energy and your spirit and that smile and the gap and like the whole, like I was just like, oh, this is me. You me, I'm you, you. Like that's how we were. And I'm pretty sure that's how we met. And from there I was just like, I want to be around you and like say
Let me
hello.
tell you, when Tracy gets in her bag and she gets giggly, she just be popping up next to you like, "I'm here, let's go."
Yeah, what are
I'd be
you
like,
gonna do?
Who activated her? Who gave her tequila? Who gave her a beverage? She activated."
That is very true. It's like a button gets
Uh,
pushed somewhere. I don't
yeah,
know
I
what it
love it.
is.
I love between you and Dirty Lil, I'd be like, "Who stop giving them shit."
Yes.
Okay?
Don't give them candy. Don't give them candy.
It's true. It's true. What does trauma mean to you?
Ooh, the feeling of it is the meaning for me. It starts in the gut for me.
Mm,
It's painful. It stays there. It makes me constipated. It makes
truth.
me it makes me dehydrated. It gives me anxiety. It gives me insomnia, really, really bad. And as
Mm,
I get older and I'm walking into perimenopause, it's even more heightened because of just the sensitivity, the remembrance of trauma, or triggers that just like happen, non-intrusive or intrusive, right?
mhm.
And yeah, it's the meaning of trauma to me means like there is a lot of feeling going on in the body, a lot of unrest, and it really just just a shitty feeling. Like you feel like you're sick, like you feel like you're ill, you're gonna
Yeah.
vomit or not vomit, and it really just makes me feel just all of the negative, the ooey gooey, like ugh, I don't want to be a part of that. Like ugh, it
Yeah.
just sits there and just is like that. So I think that's the meaning for me. It's really about the meaning of feeling in trauma and the awareness of it, and like how can we, like what am I doing to like focus on relieving it, or like getting away from it, being around, like just removing myself from that space.
Mm. Mhm. Mhm. Well, today we're talking about something we do all the time, baby. TWB. And if y'all don't know what that is, you about to learn today. Okay, message will be delivered. TWB is traveling while black. And you know what we is? Black.
We black.
We
If
we is
you
black with a
didn't, you didn't
capital
know,
B.
we's black.
Surprise.
Surprise! If you heard me on a podcast, shocker.
I can't. See, I already knew this was gonna be a time today, and I love it. I'm so excited. Um, Traveling has been something that I didn't really start doing as much until I got into like the sex ed industry when I was like 28. Mom about to be 37. Um,
Woo-woo.
and by the time you hear this, I will be 37. You can still send birthday gifts. But I didn't know what it really was like. And then I started traveling by myself, which is a whole nother journey. So my first question out of like getting into this traveling is, what was the first trip that you ever took that you can remember?
Oh, before being in the industry, or
Just when you was black.
oh, just when I was black. Okay, wow. Um, it was a child. You know what? I'll start with my one of my favorite ones. My childhood trips with my mom and my sister. My mom is single mom and raising two young little black girls. Worked a lot. We didn't travel much. If we did, we probably went to like the Jersey Shore because I'm from Philadelphia originally and South Jersey. So traveling to the Jersey Shore, Wildwood, those places, they were probably the most like fun things to do because it was only like a 45-minute, quick drive to
Mhm.
the shore. memorable moments. But I think my most favorite moment was doing more like staycations. So my mom would surprise my sister and I and take us to a really nice hotel. And we would just, and it was just like within like 20 minutes, 15 minutes of where we lived. And it was just that wonderful experience of like going somewhere where it was just like we didn't have to clean, we didn't have to cook, we didn't have like those, responsibilities or day-to-day responsibilities at all, just to like just really relax. And there was a pool and there was a restaurant next door to it. And
Mhm.
like we lived our quote unquote lavish life of like going to these hotels and just like having our staycation. And I think that was the most memorable times because that's when my mom was just like, if I can't get us out there because, I can't
Yeah.
afford it, I'm going to get us somewhere. And that was like, your first hotel experience was just really memorable for me. And I just appreciated
Mm.
it so much because I was just like, this is not my home. This is a new home that I can create, tear up, make a mess, and then walk out and be like, oh, someone else is going to clean it for me. Like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
um, and
Yeah.
then getting into the pool and staying in there for hours on end, eating, fancy foods or just something basic like a cheeseburger and watching movies on the TV. And then we just go home like the next day and we'd just be like, that was the most funnest experience for me. And I still love it to this day where like I think about that, where I go to a hotel and I'm just like, man, this is something that my mom was able to create for us and
Mm.
really make a blooming experience out of it.
Yeah. I remember when I was younger, we would go to Texas
Okay.
because that's where my elder lady, my boo Cheryl, that's where her family is from. And I'd be like,
Okay.
why do we have to keep coming to this hot ass place? But those memories and like being able to look back and like see it,
Yeah.
like the photos and shit, like
Yeah.
that is like you said, those are like the small things that like we hold on to.
Yeah.
But also it kind of felt like when I was younger and maybe for you as well that it also felt like traveling was a bit classist.
Mm.
Um because it wasn't always affordable. Like I
Right.
remember like growing up and kids were like, "Oh, we went away for like 2 weeks and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "2 weeks?
Right.
Y'all was just
Right.
catching flights for 2 weeks? That's
Right.
wild."
Right. Like you don't have to go to summer camp. Like someone doesn't have to like stay home and watch you. Like the adventures or like you can go to Disney World for like 2 weeks. Like
Girl, not me. I
not
still ain't been to
me.
Disney World.
I don't want to
I
go,
still
but
I don't want to
I
attend.
do.
Okay, well, guess what? I'm not gonna call you when I book it.
That's okay.
Um, uh, traveling has been such an interesting thing. When was the first time you traveled by yourself?
I think it was. I think it was when I went through my first divorce or separation with my very first husband. I only have two now. Like, this is my second one, so I'm trying to
They
like
was like, "Girl,
figure.
how many you
I
got?"
know, like no, no, no. The second one, and it's grounded, and here to stay. The I went to Vegas for the first time, and I wanted to move there. I wanted to live like a Vegas showgirl, like
Okay.
live the entertainment lifestyle, and the desert was calling. Also had like a very favorite book, which is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas by Hunter S. Thompson. So just like, I guess, rebelling a lot, like
Hmm.
letting go and doing whatever the hell you wanted to do out in Vegas because it was the city of sin, and then be like, I can live here and like do all of the things and party the rest of my life. And I remember that was my first time because I rented a car for the first time. I did not know about insurance and all this other scamming things that car rental companies
Right.
do. Like there was just so many things, and traveling on a plane, and like I was just like, okay, this is a vibe. I don't know if I want to stay here in Vegas, but this is definitely something
It's
that
something.
called out to me.
Vegas is something.
It literally called out to me. Now I have good friends that live out there. Would I live there now? Absolutely not. I have good friends that live out there. They do fantastic out there. I freaking love them, and I commend them for doing it. But for me, I don't know, not so much. But
You're like, I've aged out of that
I'm
interesting
tired.
thing.
Yeah, I go to bed at
Tired.
like 8:30 and be like, "Woo, girl,
I've
yeah,
lived.
I've lived, seen the
That's funny.
things."
I always ask my friends because I'm only recording with my friends and people that I really adore because I get to learn new things about them. I always ask, like, what do you want to talk about? Because I don't want to be like, come on, we're gonna talk about this. And you're like, I don't what, girl?
Oh,
Today you filled it in. You was like traveling while black.
yeah.
What brought you to want to talk about that today?
So I've been traveling a lot. Like last year, I did like a lot of um, retailer tours, which meant
Yeah,
like
you was
I was out.
outside.
I did like 70 tours, like 70.
I
Like,
know.
look, I'm not Beyonce, and I don't know how she even does it. You know,
She's rich.
she well that too. Yeah, that there's a
Yeah.
lot to play in that. I'm a little poor. Okay, but I still travel like that. You know. In any case,
You got a full stack.
I got yeah. I got a dog. But um, I think that um, I traveled so much that like my experiences of being in places that were just oof, like at least terrifying or like why did I make this decision? Why did I make this decision to go? Or you know for work you have to be there and you're just like never again in certain
Mhm.
spaces. But just like the things that I've seen and the places I've been, and again, just like reverting back to me, it's being like that chameleon of being able to be in spaces where there was maybe some trauma and there was also just pleasure at the same time, So, and with me being the only person in my family that really travels, has been, works in the adult industry. Um, it's very eye opening, and it's also like kind of like I don't want to say addictive, but just like it's a runner's high. You want to do it more and more and more and more. You want to see the world more. You want to study the world more. You want to meet new people. You want to try new things, eat foods. You know,
Mhm.
have pleasure in different places, like shit in different places, like the whole nine. Like there's a lot of things, right? Taking
Nope.
yoga in different places too, and that is my safe space. My yoga is my safe space. So knowing that I have those spaces available for me to go out and do this stuff, I think it's important to continuously talk about it when people are, especially people of color, BIPOC people, Black people, are thinking about getting into this, into travel.
Yeah.
And we see this
Yeah.
now on the internet of like, Black travel feeds and stuff like that. It's like, where is like, it's fun to put all the reels up, but like, where's the real? Like, what do I need to really prepare myself if I'm going into this space
Yep.
that some of these people don't even speak English? Like, the fuck? Like, so it really, I think it was important to have this conversation about this so people don't get fear, but they're just more like aware, and awareness is that's the
Yeah.
key. That's the
Yeah.
really key of that.
When you say you did 70 tours last year, because that number already just sounds wild, what does that mean? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, so that looks like a tour can consist of like I can be in a city or state where I, just like tour, just like a musician or a comedian or a writer, activist, anybody that tours around where they're just really taking over certain cities and performing, right? Or educating. And then that's what I do. Like I go to different retailer stores that carry our products for Be Vibe Luana and the Cowgirl, and talk about product education, product knowledge, help build sales, help with merchandising. Also talk about sex ed 101, just the basics, so that way people feel comfortable. Um, that are coming into this space that are selling these items, that they also feel grounded, that they're selling
Mhm.
these pieces that they can talk about confidently, consensually, and make some good selling numbers, especially if you're commission. You can make some really good money off of selling some sex toys nowadays. So
Slanging dicks. Slanging
slinging,
dicks and
slinging
things.
dildos. I used to say like, "What you been up to?" I'm like, the same thing, just traveling and slinging dildos.
People like, what now?
Excuse
You said what? Dildo.
me. A dial-a-do.
Do people like when you're out traveling and people are like, oh well, what do you do? Do people have like a gasp and they're like, oh my god?
Yeah, I think that in this space, I now even more so again traveling while black and being in an industry that is heavily either um, um, scrutinized or praised, right?
Sure.
You gotta find. I found like tricks of the trade to where like if I do not feel like I'm in a safe space or in a safe conversation, or I'm not giving you my consent to even talk about the job that I do, then I find ways to like reword what I do. So like let's just say on a basic level, on a non-sexual or a non-pleasurable level, people ask like, "What do you do for a living?" I say, I sell small motored parts. I go around
I don't lie.
educating stores and really talk about the motored parts and the functions and the features, so that way they can be able to sell, these items to different people,
I
consumers.
like that.
And I was in Oklahoma when I remember I had to say that recently. And I felt bad because when I continued to have the talk with the person, he was a white gay man, and I did not know he was gay until like later on down the line. I was like, I'm sorry, wait a minute. Let's start back off of like
Do you need something for your home?
yes, yes. Then I was like, let's start
Let
back
me tell you
all
about
over
bebop.
again. Right. Right. And I was in that space where like it was like a whole bunch of like what was it? It was an auction going on, and there was like a whole bunch of white men, and they were selling like oiled items, small motored parts that were like cost billions of dollars, like the whole nine. And I was just like, this is like middle America, like I'm by myself. I need to be
Yeah.
careful of like what I say.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to if I'm like in New York and I'm at this like poshy restaurant, and I'm sitting at the bar and the bartender is, giving vibes and I'm giving vibes, then I'm going to be like, okay, so this is the tea. This is exactly what I do. I'm a sex educator. I'm a product education, director for this company. I'll even add in like I'm a yoga teacher, because sometimes even a yoga teacher can be exploited, in a
Mm.
space where, people can fetishize, someone that is flexible as
Yep.
opposed to like understanding the word strong. Okay. Check yourself. Be careful, because I will still protect you and jack you. Okay. I will, one or the other. Okay. I will help you protect your neck, but I will still jack your neck. Anyway, and
Small
anyways,
and mighty. Small and mighty,
tiny,
y'all.
tiny. I play no games. But giving that person, like, then giving consent for myself to be able to feel like I'm checking the boxes. Am I in a safe space? Am I in a public space? Where is my room? Um, am I hydrated? Am I not drinking? Like all of those things to make sure before I walk into that space and saying like who I am. That's kind
Yeah.
of like how I like figure out like what I tell people
Yeah.
in that space. I mean, in Europe, just an example, no one talks about what you do. Like that's rude to ask someone, "What do you
It
do?"
really is.
Thing. So like I appreciate Europe in that space, because then like I don't have to feel judged. That person can ask me who I am and find out who am I, right? As opposed
Hmm.
to like what I do for a
Yeah.
living.
Yeah. We definitely lean into like how do we make money? And it's like a status thing.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what do you do? Let me see what you do. But in other places, they're like, how do you find joy? And we're always like, wait, what? You want to just know what makes me giggle? Hold on.
Yes.
I didn't. Wow. I didn't know. Thank you so much for asking.
Right, right, right. Let's talk about fashion. Let's talk about your style. What do you think about this food? Like, you know, it's such a beautiful day, and like we'll talk like for hours just about like weather.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
really appreciate that in being in those spaces, because like, here it's just like
I
everything's
like
about
it.
capitalism and
It really is. It's a mess. When
rough.
did you get your first passport?
Ooh, that's a good question too. Ooh, I think I know I was in my 20s. It was when I was with my first husband. We went to Mexico and we needed to get a passport. We went to Playa, one of the playas, Playa del Carmen or
Mhm.
something like that. And we needed a passport. And I remember my first one being in Mexico, and I was just like, this is pretty jazz. Like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of my family hasn't, like, traveled,
Yeah.
and
Same.
so, like, the idea of me getting a passport, they were like, "What are you getting a passport for?" I said, "So I can leave." "What
Exactly.
you mean?" And it was like it's wild that, like, I think about it now and, like, I knew people growing up, they would just, like, be outside,
Yeah.
and I just was like, "Before I turn 30, I need to make sure I have
Mm,
a passport." Like, I felt like I had to set that goal for
yeah.
myself because it wasn't around me,
Yeah.
and then, like, trying to help my family get passports, they're like, "Well, I don't really need one." I was like, "You might. Like,
You
let's
might.
let's try."
And it was when I got married, we decided to, because we were like, we're not inviting like 300 people. I'm not paying for this ridiculous, you know, wedding fees. Um, but to each his own. Whoever wants to do it, like, go for it. But it's just not for me. It was just like, okay, everyone. Like, I had some of my family, like, we're getting married in Mexico. You have to get a passport, and they were just like, what? I'm like, yeah, we're going to go outside of the country and experience some things. And I think I feel like I'm definitely the catalyst of the family, black sheep for
Same,
sure. Catalyst,
same,
definitely. People
same.
live a lot of vicariously through me. That's the other thing. So it was definitely something where I was just like, if you're not joining in on this, then you're going to miss out. And that's on you. However, I did have family that came and they enjoyed it. And now they're just like,
Yeah,
I'm so glad that I have a passport. I get to, experience spaces where I've never thought I would even think to do. And if people in like South Jersey, Philly area, we like just go to the Jersey Shore. Like, we good. We good. That's all we need, some of us.
yeah,
I'm like, I
yeah,
need more than
we I
that.
think
I need more.
it makes us better people to, like, go and see, like, outside of
Yes.
ourselves. I think also, like, in this country I roll, um, we think we better than everybody. This
Yeah.
country is wild, honey,
Yeah.
and I said, "If you don't go somewhere to Spain and get a siesta,
Yes.
okay,
Humble
honey,
yourself.
sh shut it down." They shut it down. They
Shut it
said, "Go
down.
rest.
Yes.
Go rest that
Take a
body."
nap. Take your ass a nap. How come we don't? I'm like, my goodness, if I had known that, maybe I would have been a more crankier person. I don't know. But like the fact that people go and rest during the middle of the day and can pick back up and work or do whatever they need to towards like continuously to the like end of the night, like to midnight, like that is my jam. This is I totally want to take a nap and be able to like get back up and do my job.
Yeah.
So
It is
it
interesting, for
is.
sure, for sure. When I went to Spain a few years ago, I was like, "Oh, first off, y'all don't eat dinner till 10? Oh, it's because 'cause y'all taking
Yeah,
naps.
they take
Okay."
naps. But they have a big lunch. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Like a small little cup of coffee and, like a small little thing for breakfast. Lunch is huge. Like lunch is like a 6 course meal. Like that you go ham on lunch. Then you're so tired. Okay, your body's like, we gonna go nap time. We gonna take it
That and all
down
the
for a
damn
nap.
walking.
Yes, that too, right? All the steps and the stairs and I got in a lot of steps. I love it because sometimes when I don't get yoga, then I'm like, it's all right. I got to my steps to equal for a class. But then like they have this nap, and then you wake up and you're like, oh my god, like I'm ready to like continue the rest of my
Yeah.
day. Have a small little nosh at nighttime because you're not even supposed to be eating big plates anyways before going right back to bed. So like our states are like awful.
Mm.
Our state
You
is
kinda
awful.
touched on, both of these things, but, like, what has it been like traveling alone, but as a Black woman,
Mm,
or in a body that presents as a feminine body?
I roll.
Um, I honey, baby, it is a different experience, and what has that been like for you?
Oh gosh, uh, it's to each his own. Sometimes it's like really great because
Mm.
it's for one where like you can find your community, especially in a space that is predominantly white, and you find someone that is of color, and you're like,
You see me, I
You
see
see
you.
me, I
Hey.
see you. You see me, right? Yeah, hell yeah, I
Yeah.
see you. You see me. you know? So that is like really connecting and drawing, even though you still got to be careful because you don't know if they've been, whitewashed by society and things of that nature. So you still got to be, careful.
Mm,
Um, and then that can also be really scary where it's in spaces where someone next to you has been assaulted, um,
mm.
or there are police involved, or police are following you, or whew, so many things are coming up. Or just walking back towards your hotel or going down the hallway in your room, and someone that is bigger than you. I'm tiny, I'm a little tiny 5'1", tiny but mighty. Watch it. Um,
Let me tell you.
and you're walking down the same hallway, and that person is behind you, or walking down the street in a big city, and just like not being aware of your all of your surroundings because you just don't know your you don't know really where you are, so you got to watch your six. There's just so many things that make it so terrifying, and because Black women are being targeted, killed, kidnapped on the most
Yep.
highest percentage level in the history of mankind. It
Yep.
is very, very scary. Um,
Yeah.
and you try all of the things that you can to protect yourself. And I think it's utterly bullshit that you can't bring, if you're flying, you can't bring, certain mace or a small little pocket knife, the things that you're not allowed to bring. In New York, you're not allowed to carry mace. It is
Send it to
illegal. I'm
I
sorry.
send it to my friends. I
I
send it
don't
to
give a
my friends.
shit. Like, I don't care. Like,
I will, my friend. Where you at? Okay, I'm gonna send it because I know
yeah,
you can't order it. I will get
exactly.
it to my house and then send it to you.
Exactly. Like, come from me. I'd rather get arrested. I'd rather than be then still alive than be unalive. And
Yeah.
those things are just like, man, it's a wild experience. It's an
Yeah.
unfathomable experience if you are not a Black woman. You
Yeah.
can't.
I
I can't
even
explain it to you. It's just hard to explain.
like I think about this quite often, and like I said, in the last few years, like we've really been outside on these planes and
Exactly.
going to cities that we've never even heard of. You be like, it's called what now? I've never. Is this
Yeah.
real?
Hmm.
Going to small little airports, big airports,
Yeah.
all of the above. Something else that comes to me that makes me nervous, and I have now put all the safety features on it, is like Lyfts and Ubers,
Oh yeah.
because when you go to these places, you don't know whose car you're getting
No.
into, right? I mean, even in LA, I'll be like, like I always tell my friends, or if I go out, play games if you want to. About 19 people know where I'm at all
All times.
times.
Yes, we do.
I got all my nosy detective ass friends that got my location. They gonna find me.
Yeah, we can find you.
But even on like the Lyft apps, and I don't know if you use this too, like you can set up like safety features
Yeah,
on Lyft and Uber
I do
that
that.
every time you get in, somebody gets a message.
Yeah.
The thing for me is they had to create that because women were getting kidnapped and raped, getting in a car with someone thinking we trying to get from point A to B and going missing.
Right.
Like, do you also have, because I got anxiety every time I'm like, fuck, should I just get a taxi or should I get like, do you ever get anxiety from getting from point A to point B in these new cities that you have to go to, or cities you've been to?
Um, I have, you know what? I have a very, yes, I do use that app. I just started to use it, and I was just like, this is really helpful. And I was just like, this is also quite interesting to be able to see like, um, who's going from point A to point B, or just like also if I forget to like switch onto it, or because I switch it on and off because I don't, I'm also just like not comfortable with tracking, because Big
Sure.
Brother. So there's that. So I also have a mindset of, again, for one, how dehydrated am I?
Mm,
How far is the distance? Is it walkable? sometimes I look at that before I look at a Uber pricing, because like I feel as though getting away is a lot faster. Running, running, um, walking into a public place
Mm.
immediately, cutting into a door, not wearing stiletto heels, something that I can't walk or run in. I need to make sure that I'm comfortable. So I think I use that as an alternative more so, to be able to get where I need to be. I try and use, if I need a rental car, like I really try and use a rental car as much as possible so I can be able to have the control that I need, to also be able to be like, nope, I need to get out when I need to get out, or I need to go to bed, you know? So one of those things. And then also, because of the high mortality rate that we're experiencing and the high kidnapping rate, I have put my brain on a much more survival mode where, whether it's survival or whether it is just like, this could possibly happen to me,
Yeah.
having acceptance of that, because of who I
Mm.
am. I think that's also
Yeah.
like a really crucial feeling, like, oh, it will never be me, or it can never be me because, I might be pretty or I might be ugly to whoever that person thinks of that person of themselves, wherever your body positivity is. I think that, just being really realistic of the fact that these things are happening, and for one, trying to be prepared, but also just being prepared for whatever that means.
Hmm.
So, I talk about that with my partner, as far as like, I'm 40 and I talk about wills, like what is my
I
um,
know. I want to
family
do mine.
members getting? I mean, not much, but, maybe some really good, stainless steel toys, but and a squatty potty. But like for the most part, I'm also just being, I think I'm just being more realistic and being the awareness of just like this shit can happen, and you know, I think it brings my level of, um, if it does happen, how I can bring my emotions down and be more just like, okay, what's happening,
Yeah.
where am I, what does the person look like, how am I being binded up, trying not to try and find some kind of exit strategy, like those kinds of things that are making me feel much more, it brings my fear down. The people that like do like, those bunkers and like, prepare for doomsday shit like that, like
Yep.
I have a strong fascination about that. Look at us learning something about me again. That's
I
weird.
love it.
But I have such a strong fascination about that. And I feel like being prepared as much as you can is so important. And just the
Hmm.
awareness of where you're going is so important. So that's like, those are the things that I just like, I really try and strategize where I'm at in a different part. Like if I can avoid an Uber or Lyft, I'll do
Yeah.
it in a heartbeat. Ain't nothing wrong with walking and getting that heart rate going, okay? There's nothing wrong with
Health.
that. Health.
Honey, get your steps in. Get your
Well,
steps
and the
in.
health step,
Something
then you're getting healthier. Like,
you need
you're
it.
getting
I mean,
healthier.
something that I always think about is like, how is my body feeling, right? Like, even being prepared to go travel, you got to prepare your body.
Yes.
Like, going to the gym, stretching. Can we
Yes.
talk about stretching real quick?
Yes.
Because we are not doing it enough. If you
No.
are on these damn planes, trains, automobiles, like, it just existing, like, that is a part of like health that I don't think people do enough. They're like, well, I don't go to yoga, I don't do Pilates. Do you have a body and like somewhere to sit on a floor? You could
Exactly.
stretch.
You can stretch. You can stretch. I think you can stretch. I think I love when I see people go, when I'm at the hotel and people are actually utilizing the weightlifting room or the gym. And I'm like, I don't use that amenity. That's not my amenity that I want to use. Like, I'm going to go find a yoga studio, or if I can't find one,
Mhm.
then yes, I'm going to get up and stretch in the morning, and move the body around. I mean, body movement is so needed, especially when you're waking up and your body is so stiff and so cold, and it hurts and it's cracking and making noises and it's farting and it's like it releasing gases.
Body is bodying.
Body is bodying. The fluids are fluiding. Like everything is happening. So like movement is important. Finding some sunlight, vitamin D is also important. staying
Mm.
hydrated is also very important. So if you're in a hotel and you're just like that person that has to be on the computer all the time, get your ass outside and stand outside. Just stand outside. Just breathe some air.
Listen, this is a part of your preparation for your trip. Whatever trip you got up, I want you to look at some stuff after this conversation. Something that also comes up for me like when I have to travel is like safety in my body.
Hmm.
Um you mentioned like being aware and keeping your head moving and on swivel. For me, it's also just like being in an airport.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, I will have headphones in, but here's a trick, baby. They might not always be on.
Oh
Play with me if
yes.
you want to.
Oh
Play with
yes.
me if you want to. And also for people sometimes that want to talk to me, they don't even be on. I just act like I can't hear you. I'm
Yeah.
just keeping it a buck.
Absolutely.
But being in airports, I also there's something that I say to myself all the time, like, y'all not about to play with my flight status.
No.
So whatever games you feel like you about to play, I'm not the one today, or I might be. But like thinking about my flight status, it full circle here, it feels like there's always a challenge to safety. And even if like playing with someone's flight status feels like I can't escape, like I can't leave somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, and these are like the thoughts that like I have in my head. When I be seeing people acting up in the airport, I'm like, not me, because what if I need to
Oh,
leave this country?
right.
What if I need to go somewhere? Do you
Right.
ever have those thoughts or has any of that ever hit you?
I mean, like somebody acting out for one, like my goodness, that's just ruining the whole day. Like, especially if you just want to get home, you're just like, God damn it, I just want to get the fuck home. Like, what are you
The
doing?
worst when you want to go home and you're
When I want
tired.
to go home and I'm tired, and I get it, you're tired too. You're probably dehydrated. You're tired. You may have, maybe you're not gotten pleasure. You may have had a horrible trip. Maybe your medication you didn't have it, and
Yes. Yes.
some of those things. Like I know those things have happened, right? And you have
Mhm.
to be mindful of it. Um, I think that like in those spaces, you just for one, I do the same thing like earphones, and I don't wear like these big headphones. I think these are,
Them little boobs.
yeah, my boobs. Yeah, I have the same AirPods. So I think that people that wear these, I think that is whatever that makes them work for them. That's great, but I think these are just not very safe
Mm.
because they're just so big. And whatever you're listening to, can you hear what's going on? So
Sure.
the same thing like you, like I do put on music because I need that music to like bring my anxiety down
Yep.
before or getting off the airplane. I don't need to talk to anybody. I put my head on low, sunglasses on. A lot of people when they see me at a trade show, they're like, "I didn't even know that was you." Yeah, we were on the same flight. No problem. Yeah, yeah, we sure were.
Maybe you
I
are
watched
like
you.
Beyonce. Maybe you're a little keeping it low key and
I'm
secretive.
low key and secretive. Like you don't need to know my shit. Um, but I
Yeah.
think those are the things that I do. Also, like I like to sit in the window spot. It's one person that's not touching me. That's one more person
Honey,
that's
let's
not
talk
touching
about a
me.
seat. I am a window girl.
Yes, to the day
Wi-
I die. To the day I die. I'd be
I'm not getting
damned.
banged up on the outside. I'm not a middle bitch. Fuck you. In a window seat. And I think I told you this. One time I was in the window and I was texting and somebody reached their little arm across my face to touch the window. And my instinct, let me tell you, I did put hands on this person. Not we didn't tussle, but it was a middle-aged
No.
white man. And he reached across
Wow.
my face, like across where my nose is to touch
Oh
the
my
window and how quickly I slapped that hand, baby. Because
god.
now you in my
No.
personal
We're
space.
not
I
doing
don't know
that.
what you're doing. We was both startled because my natural reaction was to boop, boop. And you know what? In that moment, I didn't apologize because you chose to enter my bubble. And what are you doing? Get a minute.
Exactly.
You in the middle.
Exactly.
Play your role.
Exactly. Exactly. And also, like, I've sat in the middle where I literally had two white people talk the entire time in between me. And I was just like, do you want to
Mm.
switch? Does someone want to switch? And neither one of them wanted to switch. One person was supposedly tending to their family, and the other person had a dog. And I'm like,
Oh
this
hell no.
is
That sounds awful. I'm
so
sorry.
uncomfortable and so awkward. that I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do what I normally do best, doing things to, give my boundaries, you know, did everything. And I can be
Mm,
sometimes a little passive aggressive. I'm a queen of that, since all the Virgos. But also just
not the
being like,
Virgos.
this is like uncomfortable, and they're not aware.
Respecting you.
They're
But
not
also just
respect.
like
They're just not aware. They have no like nothing. And I wasn't asked to be
awareness.
the awareness, and not asked to be included in the conversation. But just be mindful of like the fact of like someone is just like having to deal with breaths
Mm.
talking and dispersing in front of me. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want this to happen to me right now. So I prioritize my boundaries now. That window space is non negotiable.
And it's closed.
It's
Don't
closed.
reach over.
Don't
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 reach
reach
over
over
either.
either. This is my space. I pay for this space. If you look, sometimes those spaces can cost a little bit more than certain other seats.
I'll take it.
And I'm going to take it. I'm going to do that because
Listen.
it also just makes me feel not only safe, but continues to grow my own productivity once I land, right? I'll be
Sure.
able to be more, I'll be more active. I'll be more aware. That comfortability is important to me. So that way I can go to these retailers and teach and not have to
Mm.
feel like a trauma is sitting inside of me because this a-hole was just like taking up space in my, like, I'm not up for that.
What does it mean to take up space for yourself when you travel?
That's a good one. Yoga,
Mm.
yoga. That is like one of my ultimate. I'm sorry, I'm not getting much light.
Girl, did it get dark at your house? What y'all doing over there?
It's the sunlight.
Come on,
Hold
Detroit.
on,
Okay,
come on,
sun
Detroit.
didn't
We got
set
sun.
good
I
today.
don't know what the hell is going on. Let's see if I could do this.
Chris, just cut out. Just cut this out because Tracy getting stabilized. What?
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Um. Okay. All
Okay,
right.
I'm gonna ask you again.
Let's try it again.
What does I forgot the question, bitch. What was it?
Safe space look like for me?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. What does safe space look like for yourself when you're traveling?
Okay, that's a great question. First of all, number one, staying hydrated. Like, this is my safe space bottle. It's my water bottle. I love it because it says so many things on here that like really grounds me. So like, safe slut, like, come for me because I'm coming for. I love safe slut. I love you. Okay, she's like a fantastic influencer. Um, so water, hydrating, keeping your body hydrated. I just said this into another podcast. Like, you got to be hydrated. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you sober. Um, it flushes out any toxins in your body. Like, that is
Mm,
like my number one, my hands down number one. My
let me drink some
second
water. Go
one,
ahead.
you drink your water, drink your water. My second one is flying again. Definitely that window seat is important to me, non-negotiable. Come for me. You must be putting me in another window seat. That's fine. You know,
Do you want to move? No,
no,
I don't, baby. I pay
no.
for this.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah, no. Um, then I think also finding a yoga studio is definitely my safe space. And let me just say also, like, it's still hard to navigate through that, especially since yoga is such an appropriated space.
Yes.
Um, I mean, I've gone into so many places and I'm just like, I get judgment, I get like the whole nine, and all the triggers start to go. And I'm like, this is supposed to be a safe space for me to relax, release, meditate, find my stillness, find my groundness in a safe space. Like, this is supposed to be like this, not this whole like, um, you know, just the talk, of like, have you been here before? And I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And if I tell you that I'm a yoga teacher, you should just say less. Here's the room. Here's your mat and towel. Go and have a wonderful experience. So sometimes that's hard. Um,
Mhm.
and you get watched. You get. I mean, yoga is such a balance. It's not even a balance. It's a place where you need to be in spirit than in your human ego body. So you're just
Mhm.
already constantly being watched, right?
Yeah.
And people like they judge you and they're ready to be like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. And then I'm like, yeah, bitch, I do know what I'm doing. And I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it for you.
Yeah.
So I grab that space as much as I can because I'm going to take all the space as much as I can. I think that's really important, especially Black people, Black women, people of color in general, taking back the yoga space of where it belongs. Shout out to India and in any ancestors that created that. Thank you for that.
Mm.
It's important. Like I need that for my life. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do without it. I know I'd be in so much. I'd probably be in chronic pain. I look at my
Also that.
family. I look at my family, and I'm just like, some of them have this chronic pain or have this like, you know, connection. Or I don't want to say connection, but that there's this oh gosh, I can't even think of the word, but when that person is just like so absorbed, just like constantly going to the doctor and thinking that medicine is going to be the answer, when sometimes it's just healthy diet and yoga, just stretching can do
Mhm.
so much.
Yeah.
So I really lean into yoga so much because it's just like it's my epicenter. It is my life force,
Mm.
and using that, oh wow, it's just so many emotions. Using that is like that's my ultimate safe space. And then
Mm.
my final safe space is a restful night's sleep. Just sleep. I like to sleep. That's my pastime.
Mhm.
Is sleeping.
Mhm.
Just sleeping. Just shutting it off and sleeping. It's like
It's true.
I'm
It's
here.
true.
It's me. It's me and my subconscious. That's all I
Yeah.
got.
Do you have a travel fit? Like I have like two go-to travel outfits and I have a playlist. Like I have a walk through airport playlist that like it just exudes bad bitch energy and I feel like that changes my walk, which also I feel like I've created for like safety, like to
Yeah.
feel like don't talk to me because
Yeah.
you don't know she's on a mission.
You're
I'm
right.
power walking. Like, do you have any of those things as
Yeah.
well?
Oh yeah, 100%. Okay, so my travel fit is uh again hat. I always have my hat on, like my baseball cap. That is always on
I be
low.
having too much hair sometimes.
No,
I can't.
I will make it work. I will make it work. So my sunglasses are on. I usually also consider a mint or a piece of gum that's part of my fit because I like to like walk and chew. My music, I am again a very weirdo rando person. So I literally just put on all of my songs. So it doesn't like from A to Z, like my entire discography of
Oh
like what I
shit.
have and just like let it rip.
Surprise.
Just let it rip. So I'm like, okay, what letter do I want to be on today? Letter B. Then I'm just like all the songs, and all in different genres and like mixing and matching. Um, I think that has to do with a little bit more of my ADHDism because my partner was like, I can't listen to the shit that you listen to. Like, how you gonna go from like jazz music to like hard rock? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then go
Because
to
I
R
need it.
and B. Like, it's just like it just works for me. So that's my fit. That's part of my fit. And then as far as like suitable wears, yoga pants, um, no denim. I think it's like very binding.
I don't even
It's
really wear denim no
uncomfortable.
more. I gave it up.
Yeah, like so it's yoga. It's usually yoga pants for the most part, because like I need that flexibility, but I will wear like layered up on top so I don't
Hmm.
get too cold on the plane, and always sneakers and socks.
Yep.
I'm TSA pre-check. Like I don't like taking off my sneakers.
Baby,
You're not
y'all
gonna.
need the pre-check.
You're not gonna.
Stop
Yo,
playing.
you're not gonna make me take my sneakers off when thousands of people have walked through there, and I don't know how often you don't disinfect. I've
I've
never
never seen
seen
it.
I've never seen
Never.
disinfecting. There's never been a shift change where there's been disinfecting. I've never
You know what?
seen
That's
it.
the point
TSA, get
too.
it together or give us some information, like because I need to know how this
Never
gets
seen it.
sterilized and it lasts for a well over 12-hour day where people are still touching those bins, okay, and they're just recycling
Chaos.
through, okay? Like, explain this to me. In any case,
You
so
just messed me up because I also ain't never really thought about that. God Especially after Miss Covita been up and through everything.
Seriously. So explain to me how this is being. In any case, socks and
God damn
sneakers.
it.
Socks and sneakers. Be protected. Be prepared. Be prepared of other people spilling things on your feet. Be prepared of people's luggage running over your toes. Like, I don't know how people walk around with thong flip flops and everything. And I'm like, you are being exposed to a lot of things that a lot of people have been on. Like, no way. So that's the other thing where I'm just like, socks and sneakers. You won't be seeing me wear no heels, like trying to be
You
cute,
won't know
like
my
strut through.
toes. Not
You won't
toes
know
for
my
free.
toes. No, you won't know those. And plus, like,
Uh,
some of these terminals are long as fuck. Like, you gotta like, it is a whole half-hour trip to get from one terminal to the other, and you gonna skip around in thongs, sandals, or Balenciaga shoes? Like, no, thank you, no, thank you.
you just brought something up that really, really comes back to me. What's your least favorite airport and your favorite airport? Because I, off the top of my head, I'm like, boom.
My favorite airport is Chicago. Um,
Really?
I know
Okay.
it's fucking, it's
That's
weird.
crazy. But okay.
It's really weird. I like it because holiday season they decorate it really cool, and it's
It's
literally the
seasonal.
same, like, um, what is it, Home Alone, when they're running through the Chicago airport, and it's like decorated the same way, and I'm like, oh my god, this is where Kevin McAllister was just like stopped and got left. Like, this is fucking awesome. I've also ran into somebody in the industry in an airport in
Yeah.
Chicago, and I'm like, what are the odds? So I think that's really cool. I love Chicago hot dogs, so say less. So there's a spot called Kelly's that I get my Chicago dog and my, my
Okay, I'm gonna have to look at Kelly's
French
next time.
fries. They got like
Okay.
Wicker Park, like they got sushi that's on point. Like, there's like spots in there I'm just like, this is my jam, and I can make this easy for me. I will only give a second. I want to add a second favorite, which was San Francisco. The air was so clean in there. It was so, like, they were pumping like clean. I don't know, oxygen. It felt clean. Everything was sparkling clean. You could look like you could lick the floor, and I was just like, this feels different. The air quality is different. Like, all this is different. Clean foods and everything. I was just like, NorCal knows how to do it right. So I was just like, let me just put them. I want to put them on there.
Well, it's because if you go to Oakland, it's tricky. They trick you with that one airport.
Yeah, they do.
They'd be like, "It's nice, surprise,
No,
you got robbed."
you gotta be careful with
What's
them small little hubs, those little jump offs. That's why I don't do them. I'd rather drive 2 hours. I don't do those jump offs. Like, no, 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 no. No. Where my bag at? It's only one tar belt. Like, it's got one belt. Like, where my bag at?
Mhm.
You know,
Why my bag open?
why is
Why?
it
What
open?
happened behind the
No, no.
scenes?
So that's the other one. I think my worst one is probably Dallas. Um, I do like,
Dallas is
no. All
high.
right, like, American, like, I got American points. That's great. So I can go into a lounge. That's the only reason, like, because I can go into a lounge. But being out in those circular pods, they're not clean. It's people that just, the transients that just pass through, just like, this is rough here, man. This is rough. It's just like crappy Tex-Mex Americana foods, uh, Chick-fil-A's,
Yeah.
and like, like, just shit that I just wouldn't even eat, because for one, it probably would give me the worst, like, IBS or like constipation for one, or for two, like, who are you supporting? Is it
Not
who are
me.
you, you're not supporting me, you're not supporting my LGBTQ community, you're not supporting people of color, you're you're anti-LGBT, you're anti-Palestine, like, you're anti everything that does not resemble who I am, and I'm just like, fuck off. I do not like that airport. That one's probably like my
Mm.
suck a bag of dicks, DFW. But I'll be seeing y'all soon though.
I hate you, but you better not play with my
Don't
flight.
don't play my face.
That's crazy because you didn't even. So my least favorite, I think, of course, LAX. It's getting better allegedly, but no, Atlanta. Y'all gotta stop playing. It is an adventure every time. Like, what are we doing? What are we
I
doing?
think that Atlanta has, first of all, Atlanta, the city, shout out to certain people that who you know that live out there, I love you to the day I die. And I'm always there to support you.
We going back, Tracy. We going back
Oh,
anyway.
I'm not going
We
back.
going back
I'm
this
not
year.
going
Yes, you
back.
are. You is going.
I'm not going
You's
back.
going.
I'm not going
You gonna
back.
put you in my luggage.
I'm not going Look at kidnapped. That'd be that one Uber and be like, I'm in Atlanta? How'd I get here?
Surprise, bitch.
Right? How'd I get here?
Yeah, but that airport,
Trash.
baby,
It is
why?
trash. There's a lot of people that are angry there. I feel like Atlanta is just
Me
like
too. I'm now one of them.
they're so angry and so frustrated and just like not hydrated. And it's like this is why
Your skin dry, your
y'all
ashy,
got
attitude.
ashy. We gotta take a train to get to another train to get to like one terminal to get to another train. I'm like, what is all of
And then you
this?
get there and then they change your plane, your
Right,
flight, and you gotta
right,
reverse Uno?
right.
No.
Or they'll be like, you know what? We're gonna go on strike right now. I'm like, what? Wait, can I like get on the plane first? Can I like fly? Can we like ascend and then like y'all can do whatever you want? Like give me that space so
No.
that way I can feel like comfortable and be like, okay, y'all, good luck. But I gotta go home.
Where has been the place that you've been to that you have felt the most unsafe and or your worst experience traveling?
Unsafe. Hmm. Okay. So there was a small part, but I would kind of still want to go there now, knowing in hindsight with a group of people and yeah, with a group of people, at least one person. So I traveled by myself to Argentina for a yoga retreat back in like 2018. It was like literally right before the closing of the country's doors for the pandemic.
Hmm.
And when I was coming back home, I had a 12-hour layover in Lima, Peru. And I was like, I'll be damned if I'm going to sit in this airport, which I already did not feel comfortable nor safe, could barely speak, learn or speak Spanish, like I was just like, this is not comfortable for me. And I did my research and I was like, let me just go to, the coast of Lima, Peru and just venture out. I've, done it before in our country. So let me just try and do it here. So, um, first of all, getting into a taxi cab, as we said, right, is like scary as hell. The person was very kind, but just the language barrier was really hard because when that person got frustrated about the traffic, I was like, I'm okay. This is about to be it. So that was a little bit of a red flag. You're going through a part of the country where you're seeing assault rifles being held by polizia, um, and you're seeing a lot of poverty. So like on red, like this guy can stop anywhere, and like again on red. I finally got to the town, and just being able to walk around, but with you have this backpack on you and it's red and it's noticeable. And I literally had like two other men start to follow me. And
Hmm.
it was a signal. I realized I got signaled or targeted when there was a transient person that was trying to sell like little toy dolls. And I was just like, I'm not interested. And just like, here, here, here. And I'm like, look, here's a peso. Like, I don't want it,
Hmm.
just to like get them away from me. And I saw that person walk past the two people and like give a nod or like a something, a
Sure.
signal. And I literally watched these two. I'm like, fuck, yeah, I got two big ass men ready to start following me on this excursion. I'm just trying to like see the sights, all of the things. And they followed me. They followed me for quite some time until I realized I had to like get more into a much more public space. And I literally hitched onto a group that was doing a chocolate tour. And if you don't know, like a chocolate tour of Lima or a Peruvian chocolate is like gold. It's delicious. So I literally just hopped onto this tour and was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm late for this tour. Do you? I don't have my ticket." And the guy was just like, "It's fine. I don't care. I don't care." Like maybe that guy had a really long day too, and he was just like, I don't give a shit. Like I just want this day
Girl,
to
send
be
me this
over.
chocolate, leave me alone.
Yes. So that was a
Yeah.
way for me to like divert myself, and who knows what would have happened,
That
you
sounds so
know.
scary.
And literally the day before, like I got back like 2 days before actually, and that's when the government, everything shut down, and no one was able to travel. The other really alerting thing was that because I was with a lot of white people, but there was an Asian woman with me, or Asian presenting woman, and the Wuhan virus is already out. You can tell that people were on alert and being very you know, judgmental around Asian people. And like stuck together, and we were, trying things and breaking off pieces and sharing things. And like, you know, and you could tell that a lot of white people were just like disgusted, or just like, turned off, like, keeping away from us. And I was just like, wow, that to see that too was just like, this is fucking ridiculous. So
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to, be with this person, because we kind of both needed to share a safe space, and that was our bubble that we needed to be able to share each other and be able to,
Mm.
hold each other accountable for anything that could happen to us, and also, be responsible for each other without even having to say those things, but just being like
Mm-hmm.
aware of like, people are coming for you, coming for the both of us. And that was probably like my most like disconnecting, like disturbing, scary piece that I can remember. In
Yeah.
addition, like I've also, been in South Dakota, where like I've had cops follow me. Like I've had those things where like that to me was so, of course, triggering and terrifying, that even now, like I'm like, okay, this can happen still, but just also being somewhere where you're not even in your states, you're not a citizen here, shit's gonna go down. And if they find you, they find you, and if they don't, best of luck to you. You know.
Yeah. 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 That. Oof. I can't even imagine like how I just feel in this country. But I'd be like, they didn't turn two corners the same time as me. Well, I'm not
Exactly.
walking no more. I'm going inside.
Yeah, watching your six is so important. You can have these headphones on, but please, keep them on low. My brothers and sisters, and my sisters, all of my people, like keep that shit
Hmm.
on low. Watch your six, and just be, mindful. You can still have a wonderful experience, but like people they look at, we're a target. We're a huge target.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also why like there's so many like I follow some groups that are like specific for Black folks traveling,
Hmm.
because I think we have to have such community
Yeah,
for someone to go back. You'd be like, I'm about to travel here. What does it look like for safety?
yeah,
Like, are there certain things I should know? Are there certain things I should look
yeah,
out for? Because some people just get to travel.
yeah.
That feels nice. I'm over here like literally anytime someone's like, "Oh, I want to go here," I'm like, "Is it safe for Black people?"
Right.
And they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I didn't think about that." And I said, "Oh,
Of
I
course you
need to think
didn't.
about that for
Yeah.
everything."
Of course you didn't. Of course you
Even if
didn't.
I speak the language, right? I'm
Right.
like, "But wait, I keep seeing this meme that's like, these countries keep asking for us to come. They'll send you money. But now, do they like niggas? I don't know.
I don't know about that. I mean, like, I don't know about that. There is a community in Mexico City, which and
I
my
was just
partner,
looking at going there.
yeah, my partner is white. So it, let's try that again. My partner is white, and interracial relationships are already a very off scale conversation to have, right?
Sure. In every
However,
country still, let's be honest.
in every country, like, to be seen walking with someone that is not, well older than you, like you could tell like that person is not a great, old elder person. Um, you
He's
just
called
get
the
the
Imma tell him. Imma tell him he was on here calling him an elder.
He's not.
Imma
He's
t
not.
he's
He's young.
not.
He always says you're as young as the person you're with. So I was just like, oh, okay. Well,
You're
we're still
welcome.
going to bed at 7. So
Tuck in.
tuck in, tuck in, tuck 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 in. Okay. But I think that like finding communities like that is important. So like Mexico City, there's a very big Black community where I'm like, okay,
Okay, good to
I feel
know.
comfortable wanting to live there, wanting to move there, you know. In Spain, not so much, you know, like you
Mhm.
have to go more closer to like Lisbon, Portugal to be able to really find more people of
Sure.
color. And let's not also forget, Spain is the largest country that was the largest colonizers to the slave trade. They are the largest. They are the ones that created the slave trade. They are the ones that began it and sure as hell ended it. Like, or not ended, but they were the ones. They were the biggest
Mm,
ones that literally had all of our ancestors brought to the states. Okay, so let's not keep that in mind. So when you go there, there is this level of racism. It is there, and it doesn't. It, I think once they either speak to you and realize, oh, you're American, then they'll take less judgment upon you. However, there's
mm,
still this like there's strong racism in that country, and you know they despise Africans, and I'm like, this is my people, this is my homeland, like what the fuck? So like,
mm.
you know, being in Spain, and I love it so much, I had to make sure that like
Yeah,
where we're going, I'm like, there ain't not black people in here. It's not enough black people in here. Are your friends, you know, speaking to my partner, like, are your friends, um, who are they? What are they about? Like, how do they act? Like, how do they act around people of color? Like, what's the vibe? Because I
yeah.
don't, if I'm not going to feel comfortable, even though I'm with my partner, I will remove myself. I will leave. Like, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave.
Mm,
You know, I'm not going
mm.
to, you know, there's just so many things. So like finding those really strong communities, like it's a legit community. And if you know somebody that has been there and can validate that, vouch for that, help vet
Yeah.
you on that, that's
Mhm.
where I'm like, that's where you should travel first as a black person.
Mm, mm. Where's the safest place or the best place you've traveled? Like the best experience?
The safest place? I don't think there is. I think that's a, I honestly don't think that.
We was like, let's just try.
Let's just try.
Where have
I
you felt
mean,
good there? I don't
where
know.
have I felt good? Honestly, it's only around people that like where they live. Like, if like for you, it would be like my safe space. Like, oh, I'm gonna come out and come see you, and I'm like,
Mm,
I'm gonna come to your house. Like, I'm gonna chill. We're gonna go out and be around dinner. Like, that is really that's my safe space. So, like, I've been to a friend's house, Miss K. She's a fantastic dominatrix out in
mm,
Tennessee area, and I got to go um, to her home and be a part of her family life and like their day to day lifestyle, and like have that moment where I was just like, "There's no one coming for me." Um,
mm.
I could, you know, take my shoes off. I felt like I was at home, like literally, like at my auntie's house, at my cousin's house, and we just chilling. Like that's normally my safe spaces. It's hard to say when you're traveling so much because again, like just being on your sixes and being a black person, like you just got to be aware. And like I can't even say like, you know, I could say like even like uh, all inclusive resort, but shit, people are fucking weird there. Like you don't know some of those people, and like shit
So
get weird.
basically, you're saying there is no place for us to just.
It's I mean it's unfortunate to like I mean Africa,
But also some parts, baby, it's
yeah,
not. It's a
exactly,
trick because it and here something that people I'll be like, oh, you're African American. I'd be like, I'm black
yeah,
because I know folks that are from Africa,
yeah,
literally African and now American,
yeah,
and they're like, what do you mean? I said, I'm black with a capital B, baby.
yes.
Now historically, 23andMe says I'm from all kind of parts.
All
Also
right.
Ireland. Also
Mhm.
from Ireland. I'm a little too
Mhm.
much Irish.
I can see that.
Um, shut the hell up. But it's true, right? Like there's these things of even traveling with some other people because all skin folk and kinfolk. And if you don't know what that means, use your good girlfriend Google for free.
Mhm. Mhm. It's free. It's easy to realize that. And you the
Yeah.
other thing is about choosing your family too, right? You know, seeing sometimes you can be thinking you can want to see a relative and that relative is just like, ooh, this is not safe, this space isn't safe, and regardless of it being family, and we let's just circle back to not circle back, but think about our younger family members that are traveling or meeting other family members. Like, we need to make sure that they are protected, they have their boundaries, which are well deserved, and well, they need those there, and we need to protect them, and we need to make sure that even if they're going to go see uncle or auntie or tia, whoever, like, what does that look like for them? What does that space look like for them? Who are they around? And like vetting them. So I think that's still just important. I'm not saying that, like, honestly, no, there is no safe space in the world. It is whatever you decide to make that space, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that could be that, hell, that could be somewhere in Dubai, or it could be somewhere in, like, I don't know, I think, like, Germany. I don't fucking know. But at the whole point of it is that, like, I really just want folks to feel like they should just be careful, watch their sex, be aware, and then, like, consent to give your consent to making this a safe space. I'm saying this is a safe space now. I'm demanding this. I am calling this out into the space. Because if I don't, then it's not going to be safe at all.
What
So
did you wish you knew before you started really
traveling,
traveling? Yeah.
for one, airline points.
Baby, I am signed up for every hotel, every airline. It,
All of them.
I'm thankful that wrestling be like, put your account, we gonna pay
Yeah.
for it, but put your numbers. I'd be like, thank you
Yes.
so much, because I
Yes.
will.
Yes. The point system. I wish I would have
They
known that
matter.
sooner. Like,
Yeah.
literally the first time I, like, decided to fly out to Vegas for the first time. Like, I wish I would have known, like, hey, you should get your points. Hey,
Get y'all
you should
points.
go through
Sign up.
you
It's
should learn
free to
about
sign up.
TSA. Like, you should learn those things, right? Okay. So that thing I wish I would have learned. Also
Global entry.
global entry, like, a shout out to, like, one of my old um employers that, like, he was in event production, lighting, staging, and he was an older man, larger man. I'd be like, God damn, you gotta go through all that. And he was like, bitch, no, I don't. I'm going through TSA. I was like, what is that? What is this elitist situation? And is it for everybody? Is it, like, is this for everyone? So, like, I think that one, staying hydrated, like, don't get fucked up and try and get on a plane, because you could be like one of those people that are drunk,
Listen,
too drunk,
listen. Oh, y'all be on the plane acting up, and
acting a fool.
TikTok has caught y'all.
Yes,
The internet has dragged y'all. And what did we talk about before? You're not playing with my flight status.
yes, yes.
Every drink don't, just because it's free, it might not be for you, baby.
It's not for you. It's not for you. So that's one of those things where I'm just like, let me just stay hydrated, so that way I'm sober and I'm on my even keel and being aware. And then again, just like circling back around to, like, really awareness. Like, I just had to learn these things just out of experience. Like, it was just out of experience. And I wish I was just like, I wish I had this guidebook or manual to, like, traveling while black. Like, that guidebook would be such a cool thing to have. And maybe there's something out there. If there is, like, please let us know. We know about the green book, of course, but, like, I would like a travel while black guidebook, and then
Mm.
adding some travel places and, the whole nine. Maybe I should do it. I don't know. But in any
We should
case,
do a black ass trip, Tracy. We should go
we
somewhere.
need to we need to go
Do a black
somewhere.
trip. That could be cute. That could be
Yeah,
cute.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
down for that. We're
Mm.
gonna have to put some things,
Mm.
weigh some things out.
Ooh, I like it. I
Yeah,
like
that's it.
it.
But yeah, those are the things that I think, like, those are, like, really important to know.
Yeah.
Kids, it's just, it saves you from a lot of trauma and stress and heartache and painful memories and scary moments. And
Mm.
it's like, I like it when I talk about butt stuff and some person comes up to me and they're just like, I've tried it and I will never do it again. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, that would, I can see that as far as an experience to someone that is actually traveling, like, fuck, I had a horrible experience and I never want to do it again. Like, oh
Sure.
man, like, I would never want that to happen to you. Like, I would want you to be able to find ways to overcome that, and also be able to, manage your trauma, to be
Mm.
able to, like, keep going, be like, fuck that city. I'm not going back there again. But this city was, hype. It was the vibe. It was dope. I feel like I'm also
Mhm.
calling out my age at this point. Who says hype anymore? I
I
got
will
you
see.
sorted.
I can't with you. I think we are a little elder. Listen, you know how somebody clocked my age? We were talking about like dancing and how like how young folks now they don't dance with their arms in the air, and I'm like, well, where do you put them?
Right.
It's for balance and stability. What do you mean? Y'all
And
just dancing with your arms to your side? What are we doing?
and why are you just not waving like you just don't care? Like
Hello, there it
that's
is. That's
that's
my
not
educator.
freedom.
That's
Like you're just
yeah. What is it? Loosen up.
like that's not
How you
enough
staying
for me.
balanced?
That's not enough for me. Like your arms need to be up. Like don't even get me started. Like half tree pose. Like we all know, you start with your arms up in the air, then at least your fingers, at least the index fingers, thumbs crossed. You have to have the grip so tight that it literally like you're shooting up for the stars. You're grounding yourself from the tops of your fingers down to your heels. It's such a grounding experience and a balancing experience before us getting into the balancing series. Like, come on, get that spine warmed up. Okay, get that spine warmed up.
How you supposed to twerk if your spine ain't warm? That's
I
crazy.
just also don't. I can't do
It's
it.
true. It's true. I've seen it.
Yeah, I can't
I've
do
seen
it.
it.
It's
It's okay.
okay.
It's okay.
It's
It's all
okay.
right.
I'm okay with that. Like that is my
You do
body
other things. I
positivity.
seen you.
Yeah.
I seen
Yeah.
you. Um, I feel like if we didn't have a little brief thing about the next thing, before our last question, I think it's really important. I think you've kind of touched on it as like mental health. And like mental health isn't just like things can come up while you're in an airport that can affect your mental health,
Yeah.
that things that you carry. And like you said, even seeing other people. Sometimes I'll be in the airport like, I don't like the way they moving.
Right.
It's making me feel
Right.
uncomfortable. Now I feel anxious.
Yes.
Um, how has that been for you? Like, have you felt suddenly you like having a good day and that should be like, I was just playing. We in this airport. It's happening now.
Oh gosh. I mean, like, I think as soon as I walk into the airport, honestly, that's when my mental health is just like the anxiety kicks in.
Yeah.
You're thinking about time frames. You're not necessarily worried about people, but you're trying to get to where you got to get to the gate or whatnot. That is like, as soon as I like, not even that. I mean, because sometimes I talk to my partner because he'll take me to the airport quite often, and I'm just like, I don't want to go. Like, I just don't want to go. I want to be at home in the bed with you and my dog and our dog Bonnie, and just like vegging out. Like, I don't want to do this, and
Hmm.
that's when it kicks in, really.
Hmm.
That's when the self doubt, the imposter syndrome, the anxiety, like even if you have all of your fit ready and all the things that you need checked off, and you're just like, man, like to deal with strangers and you don't
Hmm.
know what their mental health level is. It's like you
Sure.
are walking into a ticking time bomb. Like that
Sure.
is like my start of it all. I mean, I get so like bombings. Like that scares the shit out of me, because of the fact that we travel so much, and I'm like, how can this
I
happen?
got through one time with pepper spray.
Oh, that's
I didn't even know it was in my bag. And I got to Albuquerque and I was like, oh, hell no. I'm leaving this here because we're not going to double down and try again.
yeah. I had a box cutter in my bag.
And I'm like, how you didn't see it? Who else bags you ain't seen? Then I
Right?
started like,
Was it rush hour? You just trying to you got to get them through. Like, did you not like shift change?
but
Maybe
you
you're not
took my
late,
lotion.
but you took my.
But you took my goddamn,
This
you took
costs
my lotion though, because
$60.
this got to,
This costs
you took my,
$60.
bitch, the way I had a huge I'm about to get mad again. I just have to buy some more. But like you
Right?
took my lotion, but you let me have pepper spray. I could have
Yeah,
took everybody out.
yeah, yeah. Those things are like that's where I'm more like on high alert. And then when I get to the gate, I'm like, okay. And I do check. I'm like, who is fidgety? Who is standing at the desk, you
Acted
know,
out.
acting up, like trying to like find flights or whatever, they lost their flight, missed their flight, the whole thing, like keeping an eye on that. Also keeping an eye on like where police are, because you just need to keep an eye on where the fuck police are, as a black person. So whether it's for, as supposedly to serve and protect, just to see where they are, because even if you do have a bad day and you're just trying to explain your situation,
You're hostile.
you're hostile, right? You're angry black woman, right? I think also like feeling to ways to navigate and try and keep my stress level down when shit goes down. Like I miss my flight, okay? Knowing the things that you need to know. Like I love that chick traveling with Erica because she's a lawyer and she's like, because I travel, you just need to learn on my website.
Yes.
Like that. Shout out to Erica, love you, my girl, because
Erica be listen,
you be
Erica drop
putting the damn
knowledge.
knowledge, be putting the damn thing down.
Y'all better follow
Okay.
Traveling with Erica before they take TikTok.
Yes. And adding those informational things in, so you just know, like, okay, the airline owes you these things
They
because
owe you money.
they owe you money, because it's contracted, because you agreed to it, because you gave them money, so they owe you money, they owe you accommodations to put you up into a hotel. Like those things are deserving of you. You also just need to be mindful, and if you've never worked in customer service, the service industry, customer care, which is normally where I also see a couple of people like losing their shit if they never worked in that industry. They are completely ignorant to how hard it is to work in this industry, and customer service serve you on a constant daily basis. That is
Yeah.
like, that's where I'm just like, wait a minute. I don't need to be like at you like this. I've been in this situation. So let's both stay calm and be like, let's figure this out
Just take a
together.
breath.
Let's take a
Just take a
breath.
breath.
Let me give me a
'Cause at
second.
the end
Let
of the
me
day,
just
you
drink
trying to go
some
home, but
water.
I'm trying to get on this flight.
Exactly. So let me like, figure this out.
Yeah.
So I think that also is just like certain things where I'm just like, okay. Then there's also times when I've been targeted, like coming back from Spain. I was on like, I can't even remember the German airlines. I can't even remember, in Amsterdam. And like everyone's carry-on bag was big. And I'm like, my carry-on is fine. I'm never a check bag girl when I travel. I'm usually that person that carries on my products or just all of my luggage, like anything. I'm like, carry on, carry on. And I know she like targeted me, and she was like, your bag is too big. I'm like, my partner's bag is twice the size of mine, and he got on. So you're telling me that I have to check my bag? I'm like, you're targeting
Mm.
me. You're coming for me. This makes no
Mhm.
sense. And I just
Mhm.
saw like everybody, I was like, this makes no sense. So like those things are just like, okay, how do I voice uh my opinion on what I see? I'm like, let me just put it on Twitter, let me put it on blah, blah. At least then I've been able to vent. Have they came back to me and said like, oh, we're so sorry, blah, blah, blah. No, no. But I just want to
It takes
make people
accountability.
aware, like, hey, this place was no good to people of color, and it's point blank bright as day, because we're seeing other feeds that say, or other threads that say the same thing. So,
Sure.
contributing to the cause as much as you can, finding your level of activism to say like, no, this is inappropriate, especially a black
Mhm.
person. Then you should, if you have that privilege to do that, then do it. But sometimes you just gotta get the fuck home. You just gotta get home, and I think that's important. Like, I just need to get home. So stay calm. Um,
Yeah.
Sometimes a crocodile tear might work here or there, but it really doesn't. My smile is usually the thing. So I'm like, hey, sorry. So I lost, my flight got canceled. Like, how can we figure this out? So
Yeah.
I try and keep an even keel, because I just want to get home.
Sure. Sure. Whew.
Yeah.
I really hope that people got to take some gems from this, because the journeys are ahead. And it's not about we're not about to stop traveling, so that's
No,
not the move.
no,
It's
no,
not the move.
never the move. It's like, it's just being aware and like figuring out like how to navigate,
Mhm.
TWB. And I think that's important when we have these conversations, and allowing people to know, like, you're not just walking out there and all, gullible and naive, and like, it's going to be absolutely, it even happens to, big celebrities. So, it's not just us.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. They said you still a nigga.
yes, yes.
Your coins, cute, but
Mm-hmm.
still.
I'm still a Niger.
Um, we talk about such fun and hard things on this show that I like to end the show with a fun question. Keeps it light. So what is the wildest thing that someone has texted or DM'd you in the last 2 weeks in wildest perspective? What you got? Tell us your
Okay,
business.
I know. So I had to like look at my calendar because we were like chit chatting before. I was like, this is the hardest question that I had to like answer out of this entire podcast. Like, fuck. You also work in an industry that like you see weird shit all the time, you know, like
All the time.
all the time. Like you hear it, you see it, you smell it. Like it's just like so much shit that you see. You're just like, what the fuck? Okay, so the weirdest thing that I've so far have seen was probably um, a a what was it? Oh, it was a text from it was a WhatsApp text, and
Mm,
you know how WhatsApp is like. It's like it's supposedly non-regulated, and like someone gets a phone number, they can just send you whatever. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So I got a response, hey, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. And I'm like, well, it could be, someone internationally, it could be someone from like somebody. And
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I think I know who this person is. So started texting, started chatting, and was just like, huh, I wonder how their family are. And I'm like, how's your family? And they're like, don't ask me about my family. You know how they are. And I'm like, well, what the fuck does that mean? Excuse me. And they said, well, how did they say it? Well, at the end of the day, I wish they weren't here.
What?
And I was just like, this is not this isn't for me. Like this conversation is not for me.
Yeah.
So I think it was that weird conversation that I was just like texting like, okay, are you okay? That's the next part. I said, are you okay? And that person, whoever it was just like, no, it's about to go down now. And that was the end of it. And I was just like, delete, remove, don't talk to me anymore. I don't know who you are, blocked out, don't know. And that was the end of it. Like I was just like,
It's
I don't
about to
know.
go
It's
down.
about to go down. And I was just like, oh no, I'm not about to be a
Did you
part.
check the news after to see if something went down?
Where else would I don't even know. Like, it was such a foreign
It's too
number
much
to
happening
me.
every day. You be like, I don't know.
I don't know. It could have been like if maybe it went down and I don't know who it was, but if they were just like, it's about to go down. And I was just like, yeah, this is not my conversation. Because I usually, not usually, but always, I'm like, I'm not about confrontation. So
Yeah.
I'm always about laughter and be like, let's, we could joke around and have fun. But I was just like, it's about to go down. I was like, no, that could be a shooting, that could be a
No,
bombing, that could be a stabbing, that could be a
not
like,
for me,
that's not for
baby.
me. That's not for me. And I was
Yeah.
just like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want that. So I'm so used to being like, I'd rather see a dick pic, an unsolicited dick pic nowadays than like,
That does not mean to start sending them though,
no,
y'all. That's
no,
not
do
what
not.
that meant.
That is not what that means. And
That's
don't
not
try
what
and
that
find
meant.
me on WhatsApp either. So and that was the one thing I was just like,
Uh,
nah,
this was fun.
this
This
was
is
fun.
I knew it was gonna be a fun time. Before you leave us, where can he, she, they, them, z, they, everybody, baby, where can they find you if you want to give them any information to find you and buy something so you can stay employed? I don't know.
Oh, thank you. So, no, as far as finding me on Tracy Flower Child
I was
Cherie.
like, what's
That's my Instagram. I was like, who the hell is that? Tracy
that?
Flower Child Cherie. You can like Instagram me. I am happy to answer sex ed conversations via paying first. So you do have to pay. I do have some nice rates for you. You can have a good conversation there. Um, you can also find me or find our brands that I work for on Instagram or social media, especially Instagram, Lawan Massager, bvibe.social, and Ride the Cowgirl. So we have some really great, not only just fun premium lines of products, but just education, the knowledge,
Let
and
me tell you, y'all do some
it's
education.
a whole what we use.
Oh, I
We
love it.
use you tons
I
and tons
love
of
it.
time for some
The
education.
education
Okay.
y'all create, I think it's so imperative, especially for B Vibe. Because
Yes.
listen, the butthole is a
Yeah.
time. If you
Yes.
don't know what the B stood for, it's for your booty.
It's for your booty. It's for your booty vibes. So like the education and the knowledge is so there. So I think I think you could definitely find us there. I do some unboxings from time to time and some interesting content. If you are, oh, did I lose you?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. If you are in the Detroit area, we have a wonderful yoga studio out here, and it's called Midtown Wellness Center, Yoga Wellness Center. So definitely stop by there and check out our spaces there. And we have a really wonderful hot yoga studio. So I definitely say like come through. If you see me on the podcast and said like you come to Detroit and you're like, Tracy, I know you, I met you on the podcast, I'll get you in for free. Okay. So
Ooh, okay, little
take care.
VIP.
Little
Listen, the gifts
BIP.
have been given. The
Yes.
gifts have been given here. I hope y'all receive them and also have some act right. And if you are TWB, do some research. Talk to people. Use your good girlfriend Google because she's free.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oof. All
She's so
right, y'all.
free and she's so full of knowledge. Just try and be
Yeah,
careful as far as
yeah.
finding the right stuff. The wrong.
Ugh, ugh. Whew. Until next time.